Hi friends, welcome to Canadian Cutting Edge, and today we're taking a look at the 7096 by Sanrenmu. This is a frame lock knife. I don't know why I said it that way. Frame lock knife with a tip down right side pocket clip, but very deep carry, completely deep carry. It's a smaller knife, under 3-inch blade, just barely. Full flat grind, and if you're looking for something like this, you might be interested in this. If you own a business and you need some knives that you want to do as giveaway projects, this has got a full open space on the front of the handle here that you could write just about anything you want on there. If you've got a laser system, or you can hire somebody who can do laser engraving on stainless steel. And even if you just want it for yourself, for your pocket to carry around, either as your main or secondary knife, you might want to watch this video. The full review is coming to you right now. And now let's compare the size with the old Rat 1 that I use on most of my videos. Clearly, it's a smaller knife than the Rat 1. The handle is a lot smaller, but the cutting edge of the knife, isn't all that much smaller. Very close to 3 inches. So here's the show side of the knife. And the working side back here, while both sides work, of course. You notice that the thumb stud is right side only for right-handed use. Just like the pocket clip, there's no holes to put it anywhere else. And all the edges are rounded over, nicely smooth, comfortable in hand. There's no rough spots in the hand where it gets uncomfortable. It's actually very comfortable in hand every way you want to hold it. Pocket clip is a little bit oversized for the knife, but works very well, holds onto the pocket well, and like I said, it does deep carry. The lanyard hole is a little inset lanyard hole, which I really like, so that when you put paracord through there, it doesn't bulge up. So that's a good thing. By the way, the full model number of this is the 7096 LUC-SC. A full flat grind, satin finish on it, drop point. Nice belly here, short flat section, sharpener's choil. Very well made. And like I said, it's a comfortable knife. You've got torque screw here, T8, T6 back here. I'm not going to show you it coming apart, but right now I will show you the washers that are in there. There are 4 washers, 2 very thin phosphor bronze washers on each side, and that's why the action is so smooth. You go to flip it open and it just flies open from that thumb stud. And that's a very good thing. If you wanted to make the thumb stud on the other side, you can't, because the frame lock here is in the way of where that would be. I can show you a close-up of that. So there you go. You can see where that screw from the thumb stud comes out there, and the frame lock is in the way. And of course, they have to make the pocket clip come in so that you could access those thumb studs there. The screws to take the pocket clip off. I've been doing this channel for almost 4 years. It'll be 4 years in March. And since day one, I kept on confusing pocket clip and thumb stud. Those two words just always get mixed up. Something in my brain doesn't quite file those things down properly. The thumb stud is done very well. It's got 2 little steps on there that go smaller from the main thickness of the shaft. So it's very easy to get your thumb in there, to get to push on it and make the blade deploy. Stop pin just sits in place. There's holes through the frame on both sides. So you can see it's a good size stop pin there. And just everything's made well. Lockup position. Lockup is very good. It locks up right around, maybe just past the halfway point. Lots of life in that lockup. And the cutout here, there's still good access to do the release of the thumb stud when you want thumb stud. Boy, I'm getting everything mixed up today. The frame lock, very easy to, actuate that frame lock right there to unlock the knife, to close it back up. It's a good design. So let's pull this out here. And as long as this is on the screen, I'm talking about the measurements and specs and all that kind of information. The weight of this knife is 103 grams, 3.65 ounces. The factory sharpness, 115 best. That's very, very good. That's a nice, very sharp edge. And I'll talk about the grinding of that edge in just a second. First, the cutting edge, the length of that is 7.5 centimeters, 2.95 inches. The blade length, so the tip of the blade to the closest spot on the handle, is a little bit less, 7.34 centimeters, 2.89 inches. The blade thickness, so that's at this flat spot here on the ricasso before you get to, it grinding down on the main bevel. That is, where am I reading here? There we go. That is 2.43 millimeters, which is 0.0955 inches, so a little bit less than 1/8 of an inch. Not an awful lot less. The blade depth, this measurement here, 2.21 centimeters, that's 0.871 of an inch. The thickness of the edge behind the grind, and I always measure it, I usually measure it about 1 inch up from the sharpness choil, right here where most people do most of the cutting. And that is 0.48 millimeters, which is 0.019 inches. So a very good thinness behind the grind to make it slice well, backed up with a full flat grind. This is a very good cutting knife. Decent tip for piercing as well. Now the grind angle, so the angle that they did the final grinding, it does change a bit at the tip. It goes quite a bit steeper than it is for most of the knife. For most of the knife, between my two fingers here, it's very much the same on both sides. 17.0 degrees on this side, 17.2 degrees on that side. And then as you get close to the tip, it gets steeper, a little bit closer to 20 degrees per side, closer to the tip. Now for the handle, the length of the handle here is 9.93 centimeters, 3.91 inches. So basically a 4-inch handle. The grip area, that's between my thumbnails here, I'm calling it roughly 9 centimeters, about 3.5 inches. The handle thickness, not counting the pocket clip, 8.13 millimeters, so less than a centimeter here. That's 0.32 of an inch, so 1/3 of an inch thick. The handle depth, that's this measurement, 2.39 centimeters, which is 0.941 of an inch, so just under an inch this way. And when the knife is closed, it's 2.46 centimeters. That's 0.968, so a little bit bigger, but still just under an inch. And the total length of the knife when the blade's deployed, tip to the end of the handle here, 17.3 centimeters, which is 6.78 inches. So just a little over 6 3/4 inches. So it's a nice discrete size knife. With this weight being only just over 3.5 ounces, it's a very carryable knife. Quite discreet. Let's see what it looks like in a pocket. The spoon here climbs over the edge of a pocket very well, slides in. You can get caught. These pants are starting to wear out right there, so I'll try it over here. It can get caught on those screws sometimes, but usually it slides down all the way and just sits in there nicely, and sits a little bit on an angle. Actually, in the left hip pocket, it sits, back facing the pocket. This major seam down the side of the leg. So I actually wear this often when I do carry it on the left side as a secondary knife. And, works fine in my left hand, as long as I can, deploy the blade with my right. Because it's not that easy to deploy the blade with the left hand, although you can do it, but not in a hurry. So if you're left-handed, this might not be the knife you want. It's just I carry it over on the left side as a spare knife, generally when I do carry it. I did carry it in my right-hand pocket as my main knife for several days, And it was adequate for every task that I came across that I needed to do. Very good for opening packages, cutting through cardboard, a little bit of very minor, food prep, like cutting the skin of an orange, cutting through an apple, all those kinds of things. It's very good for those kinds of tasks. No problem at all. Easy to clean because it comes apart easily, and there's no grinding out to lose weight in there. There's no deep corners to wipe out and stuff. And with those phosphor bronze washers, it's just a very easy to set up knife. Now you can tighten up the screw too tight so that it makes it difficult to open and close the knife, but there's no blade play at all with the tightness that it came from the factory, and the deployment worked very well from that factory. Now it doesn't just drop when you go to close it because it's holding tight enough not to do that, but it doesn't take very much pressure at all to close it. It's a nice finish on here, and the detent holds it quite well. It's a good design. The price of this knife, you can get it on Amazon, Amazon.com. It's not on Canadian Amazon, unfortunately. Amazon.com has it for $22 US. That's where I got mine. At AliExpress, if you live outside of North America, or if you're having delivery to Canada, because I'll double check if the Amazon.com will ship to Canada. I don't think so that they'll ship this knife there, but I'll double check. It'll be on the screen. So if you live outside of the United States, basically AliExpress has it for $22.80 US. That equals about $30.24 Canadian, just under 21 euros and just under 18 British pounds. I've got links for both down below. And those are the only stores that I've found it to be readily available at. There is another store on AliExpress that has it for a little bit less money, but they ship almost nowhere because that one is shipping out of Russia, and it had very, very limited shipping. So I'll leave a link for that one down below as well, just in case you live somewhere where you can buy that one at a lower price. But basically, $22 to $23 US. Not bad. I like that deep pocket. I'm going over the pros and cons one last time. The pocket clip, nice and deep. All steel satin finish, has a good look to it. Functionality, it's a good design, good build quality. Some people might not like a tip-down pocket clip. I don't mind it at all. And a lot of people who are left-handed, that's about 10% of the population, won't like that it's not left-handed with the thumb studs. But there you go. If it does suit you, it is a comfortable in-hand knife. I like the lanyard option here. I like how deep the pocket clip is and how well it works. I like the brushed satin finish. And there you go. A couple little cons that aren't cons as in bad build. They're just cons as in design options that aren't for everybody. Basically left-handed people or people who like tip-up pocket clips. For the rest of us, this is actually a very good knife. If you live in a jurisdiction where you've got a 3-inch law that you can't have knives with blades over 3 inches, this one is definitely underneath that limit. And there you go. I like this knife. Good knife, comfortable knife. I've reviewed over 100 Sanrenmu knives in the last almost 4 years. And no exception, this one's very good. Almost every Sanrenmu knife that I've reviewed is very good quality. For those of you who aren't aware, Sanrenmu is the mother company, started in the 1990s, and they are basically the parent. Technically, they're separate companies of Real Steel and of rake knives. It's officially they're separate, but in reality, you can even look at some of their logos. They use the exact same font, the exact same size of square that the red font is in, that the red logo is in and stuff. They are very much the same company, and that tells you something about the quality. They've always been good, very good quality production. Thanks for watching my little video. Thanks for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. And remember, guys, always cut towards your chum, not your thumb. And bye for now.